Hi, my name is Matthew Sullivan. I am a co-founder of Famigo. This is a company that was started at a thing called 3-Day Startup here in Austin, Texas on April 4th. The whole idea for the company is to provide tools and a platform that brings parents and kids together. We're going to start off by providing games on the iPhone that parents and kids want to play together. Our first game is called Hot Potato. You guys have all played it. It's a virtual hot potato where you pass around between parents and kids, and the whole idea behind this is that we think that these simple games are multi-generational, easy to pick up, easy to play, short time commitment, and parents and kids love them. So.
And when is Hot Potato launching?
Hot Potato should be launching in the next couple of weeks, hopefully sometime mid-September. It's in testing right now. In fact, we're going to go test it with with another family member this afternoon. Kids are loving it, parents are loving it.
All right, and do you plan to sell that directly through the iTunes store, or what's the business model for this?
Right. Initially, the business model for the whole company is just build a couple of apps, sell them through the iTunes store. Eventually, we want to grow that into, I guess, we don't want to be a developer. We want to, I guess, in game lingo, we want to be a publisher or a platform where we have other developers use the tools that we know connect families to put into their games, so that we're connecting developers and families, and these games are what are connecting families.
Yeah, I can certainly see a need for helping families, interact more. It's just so funny today. You see families struggle with that.
Well, yeah, it's a huge problem. At the beginning of the summer, there's an interesting study by the Annenberg Center for Communications out of USC. What they found was that 2 years ago, I think parents were spending, 2 years ago, parents were spending, I think, 26, what was it? I don't know. It ends up being 30% less time with their kids than they are now.
Wow.
I think that's, yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, we'll talk a little about your Capital Factory experience and how they helped you for the few months you were working with them.
Capital Factory was awesome. So, as you know, Capital Factory is an incubator, and we're a brand new company. We founded on April 4th, started Capital Factory on May 22nd with an idea. Between that time, we hired a developer, and the first goal was to test our hypotheses and prove that what we think can connect families does. And so that's why we built Hot Potato, which is our first game. And we also we're building a second game called Dots. Capital Factory provided us with, I guess, the tools. It was an investment, and then also the resources in terms of mentorship, which was the best part about it. But then also some of the services were great in just helping us not worry about a lot of the little things and really focus on testing our hypotheses and building those games.
Yeah, I've heard it referred to as being really intensive.
Capital Factory was amazingly intensive. And I think we kind of all fed off each other. One of the coolest things is, by chance, we all ended up in this office suite with 5 companies having 5 different offices in a lobby. We all shared the same lobby, and I think we just kind of fed off each other. So, if somebody was working late, somebody else was working late, we were always talking to each other and helping each other. It was a great environment.
Yeah. So are you guys looking for investment? Are you self-funding? How are you going to capitalize your business?
That's going to depend on how well these games do. We're not relying on games because the game industry is a hit-driven business. But we've noticed that these games test really well, so we're willing to take that chance at least initially. If these games don't end up being a revenue generator, then we're going to go look for an angel round. Initially, we'd like to raise enough money to get us to a larger development team so that we can start building out a toolkit for developers, so we can bring these developers on to build the games, or at least repurpose their existing games for a new audience.
Okay, so say we have a crystal ball and we're looking at ourselves, have the same conversation a year from now. Where do you want to be in a year?
A year from now, we want to be hosting a suite of games for families. We want to be known as a destination where families can find tools to interact, either in the living room or maybe while they're spread apart. especially one of the interesting use cases that parents as business travelers. We think we can provide a way for them to interact with their kids even while they're traveling. So we definitely want to do that on the iPhone. These games should be playable on the web, and we'll have that up and running, I think, definitely by the end of the year. And then we want to move on to the next most likely platform, which could be Android, could be the Sony PSP. We'll just have to wait and see what the market says for those.
So like a modern day Milton Bradley or Hasbro or something like that in terms of being a platform.
Kind of. In-house, we kind of like to talk about Disney. Disney started out, I guess, building movies and building shorts, and then it was only after a while that they really became this destination, or this, in TV terms, they became a network or a channel. And so I think we'd like to end up like that.
Yeah, I can see a need for it too. So wrapping up real quick, what do you think about the Austin community? How's your experience been starting a company here in Austin?
Austin's so it's a small community, and I think that's a plus. You don't get lost in a bunch of people and a bunch of contacts. In that same regard, you get quality from those small people because they're so into Austin. I think maybe the biggest thing is that Austin feeds off of Austin. Yeah.
All right, and wrapping up real quick. So, what things keep you up at night at Snapshot in Time, September 2nd, 2009?
Right now, we've been spending late nights in the library working on the demo day pitch, and worrying about all the questions that we're gonna have to field and talk about afterwards. It's gonna be a long day, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, we'll be there to see it, and good luck with that, and good luck with the business, and we look forward to hearing great stories about Famigo.
Can't wait. Thank you very much.
All right.